of law studies. There's an English philosopher by the name Thomas Hobbes. He is describing how law came to being. In his theory, he says, in the beginning, we had something called might is right. So you are strong, you have arms, you control your chiefdom. You are the law. Everything is decided by you. And some of England's most powerful families were able to accumulate power, create kingdoms. And it was repeated across the world. Then changes came because people decided, no, we must have a voice in our affairs. And so then parliaments came. Parliaments shared power then with the judiciary. So the king stopped being the law. Might stopped being right. It had to be devolved. That was the first way in which people said, let us sit now as a state. We don't want to have one person having everything. We have to agree to live like this. That's how constitutions came. Mm-hmm. In fact, in Britain, up to today, they have never had a written constitution. But then when you look at many countries, they have sat down and actually put pen and paper to how the state should be governed. So when we agree that this is how we will choose the executive, this is how we will choose the parliament, and in Kenya, Senate and National Assembly. Yes. This is how we will choose the judiciary. These are the three critical state agencies that we have agreed as a nation we shall govern and learn how to live within them. Yes. Now, if I want to run the country, I should aspire to be the head of that executive. If I want to make laws for this country, I should aspire to be a member of the National Assembly or the Senate. If I want to determine cases, when matters brought after there's conflict, I should aspire to be a judge or a magistrate, judiciary. Now, the problem that we are having right now is not about the high cost of living. It's not about, all these issues, elections. It's not about all that. It's about the fact that someone has decided that they won't operate within the agreed structure of the state. We agreed that to be a president, you run for elections, get 50 plus 1%. If you lose the election, you wait for another 5 years and try. We agreed if you have to make laws, you run for the National Assembly or Senate. Now, if you cannot make it there, you cannot determine the policies of the country because your laws, you don't have enough numbers, then what you should do is to wait for the next general election and gather the numbers to decide how you will pass your tax laws, how you will determine. This is what we agreed as Kenyans, and we negotiated this constitution. This constitution was negotiated when Raila was in government. When Uhuru was part of those negotiations, I was in Naivasha myself. When we were negotiating this constitution, you were saying the old system of state where the president was appointing judges, he was appointing the DPP, he was appointing the ministers, he was appointing all the the officers of the state without even going through the National Assembly or the Parliament. It's wrong. The constitution has been overtaken by time. Now let us agree this is how we shall run our country. We negotiated this constitution. This constitution was not negotiated in Lacas. All right. So someone coming now to tell me that it's the high cost of living, that's why we should go and throw stones, it makes no sense at all. Because the cost of living and everything else is determined through an act that is called the Finance Act. You lose that, go to do your politics well, next 5 years, win so that you determine how that Finance Act works. Okay, you're saying that there's a high cost of living. There's the issue of petrol there, the food prices are all there when you look at the economics of it. So how do you solve it? You will not solve these things by operating outside the state. And I am personally very disappointed that I see lawyers who are in the civil society. I see lawyers who are in the opposition, like Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamala, who have decided conveniently to forget that for you to present grievances, you must operate within the state. I am so surprised to see them supporting violence as a way to discuss with the state. I am very surprised and disappointed to see some of the friends in the civil society, as I see them now, saying, let the president and Raila sit down to talk about what? You know,
so from your own assessment, you don't think they should sit down?
From my own assessment, I see it this way. They are structures. They are actually structures. The leader of opposition is an institution, and it operates within parliament. This is how we agreed. We said the minority leader will be pushing the opposition agenda within parliament. The leader of opposition can be speaking from outside, but the leader of opposition cannot determine how the government must run. He is supposed to be criticizing, saying how bad the government is, how what. He's not supposed to be sabotaging the state. You don't have to, you don't have to like me if I'm your president, but you have to love your country.
Okay.
You should not sabotage the state because you don't agree with me.
All right. So
my way forward, and I think there's no other way, is people to follow what we agreed, how we said we will govern. Don't create a mess like what is being done now, and then put people, stakeholders. I'll get my supporters to throw the stones. I will make the noise, keep changing the agenda, and then when there is enough chaos, I will call the international. You know, you saw Kalonzo Musyoka reporting that, did you see how CNN all reported us? You know, that's stage 2. Let the international make noise. Let the ambassadors make noise. Then you guys of civil society come out and demand that we sit down, we talk. And then we will demand that we have a piece of that government. So I'm saying this. We agreed. Raila, Uhuru, President Mwai Kibaki, Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta, we all agreed how we were going to run this country. Things coming outside, it is wrong, it's unfair, it is just wrong to the country and the world as a whole.
But listening keenly to what they were saying, I didn't hear any call for violence, because they're calling for demonstrations. Come with your souvenirs on your head, operate within, the stipulated structures that has been given as enshrined in the Constitution. So you can't really...
We live in this country.
Yes.
We know that every demonstration that has been called, people have died, people have been maimed, people have been injured.
Well, which leads me...
Actually,